Well, it's only been 6 weeks since Keir Starmer was elected into power as Prime Minister of the UK, and there's already a lot of talks that he might be forced to resign due to a vote of no confidence as well, and also an official government petition to also just get him out of power on top of that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this little article out to you right here, right now. I've got a few other things talking about Cal Vorderman agreeing with extreme misogyny being classified as terrorism. Also, talking about this one as well, which is something that I replied to from Blades of the Sun. This guy's just a communist grifter as well. Also, the fact that they'll be releasing 5,000 plus of the most dangerous prisoners in the UK to make space for people who were jailed for tweeting or making Facebook posts. And also the petition, as I talked about, and also a video where someone jumped Keir Starmer on stage very recently. And towards the end of the video, I'll be talking about what I think is going to happen in the 2029 elections and all the time during now and up to the 2029 elections against men and their human rights and people's human rights as a whole, and also who I think is going to be the next Prime Minister of the UK, which I believe will be Sadiq Khan. Anyway, let's go on with this. Labour continues austerity policies. Under the current Labour government, the policy of austerity continues, mirroring the economic strategies previously adopted by Conservative administrations. Critics argue that these measures, including cuts to public investment, winter fuel payments and child welfare, disproportionately benefits the wealthy while failing to stimulate economic growth. Despite Labour's election victory on the platform of change, their adherence to austerity has led to accusations of the following opposition dogma: undermining their own economic objectives. The approach has sparked widespread criticism and calls for Prime Minister Keir Starmer to resign, with a petition to this effect gaining a significant traction. Discussions highlight concerns over increasing poverty, inequality, and economic burden on taxpayers, suggesting a growing disillusionment among voters who anticipated a shift from the past economic policies as well. To summarise this a little bit more simply, basically the average British person is completely beyond fed up of being lying every single election, expecting change, and Labour just doing the exact same thing that the Conservatives did for 14 years, but tenfold. Again, me and many other people tried to warn people that trying to defeat evil with more evil is never going to result in a good outcome. You can't fight evil with evil, it just doesn't make sense. And we also warned that Labour would just be far worse than the Tories, and I think 6 weeks of that has definitely proved that, to say the very least as well. Also talking about also inequality as well, we have this from Carol Vorderman. For anyone outside of the UK, Carol Vorderman was the mathematician and in control of the kind of whiteboard and the consonants and the vowels on a show called Countdown, where it's about intelligence and a bit of problem solving on top of that as well. However, in more recent years, since she retired from that show, she's become an absolute lunatic on Twitter, and she's now agreeing with this. Let me zoom in a little bit just so it's a bit easier for you on mobile. News: misogyny to be treated as extremism by UK government. Excellent news and about time. Violence against women and girls (WAG) is now a national emergency, a comprehensive report warned last month. So Carl Vorderman agrees that if a man in the UK is being a little bit of a misogynistic type of person, that he deserves jail time and should be on a terror watch list. Now, terrorism or being a terrorist means that you're willing to do extreme things towards a government that you don't like. I don't know how being an extremist towards the government means that you are a misogynist to women, or you being a misogynist to women makes you the most anti-government person in the UK. Again, I mentioned this in a previous video talking about the police referring to people online who have been arrested as armchair thugs, and the definition of thugs is physical, being in public and with thuggery behaviour. I don't know how you can be a verbal physical thug online. It just doesn't make sense at all. And we've actually got a response from Andrew Tate towards Carol Vorderman, and I have to agree with this 100%. It's amazing somebody so good at maths can't see how this all adds up to tyranny. Soon, not calling a tranny the right pronouns will be jail. It's already the case in Scotland. I've made videos of that in the past as well. Ignore your eyes, obey the matrix. Carol is begging to be controlled by an incompetent government. Truly pathetic, and I have to agree with Andrew 100% on this. The level of tyranny or just overall authoritarianism from Keir Starmer in the past 6 weeks is probably the worst we've ever seen in the UK, and this might be the UK's darkest time throughout its history as well. And it doesn't help that people are encouraging this and wanting government to have more power. Again, I've never understood that logic. Yes, I would like someone to have complete power and authority over me, and for me to have zero agency. It just makes zero sense to me in any way, shape, or form as well. And it's funny that it's all these kind of feminazi white liberal women who are spouting this absolute nonsense 24/7 as well. And in response to this person is Blades of the Sun. If you're on Twitter and you deal with political things, you've probably seen this guy. He's an absolute window-licking communist grifter, to say the very least. Andrew Tate deserves, if the Romanians don't get to him, we will. And fuck Tommy Robertson. Where is he hiding now? He is never here. Sorry, he's never here. Fuck the government. This one's defo aimed at you, Cobra Tate. Extreme misogyny be treated as terrorism, so on and so forth. However, this is what I responded with down here as well. If you're agreeing that misogyny should be classed as terrorism just so you can see your enemies put behind bars, then you're the villain in this situation, or you're the villain in this story. A lot of these types of people, especially Blades of the Sun, who is the biggest wet wipe, and if we very, very quickly do this, Blades of the Sun and the whole theme in this is all from his book on Amazon, and if we have a very, very quick look at it right here, 1.3 review, 1.3 stars out of 5. I believe this might be one of the worst reviewed books in Amazon history, or in history in general as well. And we've got terrible, the biggest waste of time, so sad it makes it badder, and not very well written. It feels like a lot of self-interest and utter garbage. Awful communist crap. There we go again. Don't waste your time, awful, so on and so forth. And this whole guy is based around his own book with the theme constantly advertisement. And when you see the absolute nonsense that he spews out right here, and the reflection with the reviews of his books, yeah, says a lot about an individual as well. Again, if you're willing to go to absolute beyond psychopathic extreme measures that punish all men, and you're willing to go along with that because you hate Andrew and Tristan Tate, and if that affects every other man, but it gets those two men, the Tate brothers, in jail, you're the villain in that story. You're not the hero. You're not the good guy in any way, shape, or form. And again, I'll talk about a bit more about this towards the end, because I think something far worse is coming towards men and their human rights up and down the UK. Now, as I mentioned before, 5,000 plus prisoners of the worst calibre will be released from UK prisons to make space for people who gave their opinion, or maybe a slightly spicy tweet or post on Facebook or Twitter as well. So this is from End Wokeness. Holy shit, the UK is releasing 5,000 plus prisoners to make room for anti-immigration protesters. Some of these will be violent offenders, talking about the people that will be released for jail and only made to serve 40% of their jail sentence for committing the worst crimes imaginable. So let's play this video and I'll get back to you ASAP.
We will guarantee a prison cell. We will make sure that those people who need to be in prison will be in prison, not necessarily in the area where they live. They may be 200-300 miles away from home, but we will guarantee people a prison cell.
The numbers are so tight there. How can you make that guarantee?
They are tight, and that's why we've initiated Operation Early Dawn. So basically, the easiest way to describe it is 1 in, 1 out. So as people get released, we can then pick up people from police cells and take them to court, and we will triage that 3 times a day.
So it's the whole 1 in, 1 out system that they're going for, as well as that with Keir Starmer, and I know this wasn't mentioned within this video, but I've made videos of this in the past, and I'm just going to mention previous videos within this. Keir Starmer has made policies that if, you know, the worst criminals imaginable, or criminals as a whole, have served 40% plus of their jail sentence, then they should be released instantly to make way for new Facebook armchair thug criminals who are the most dangerous people on the planet, or people who tweet or say spicy things in their YouTube channel like me, or over on TikTok and other platforms as well. Again, I remember before Keir Starmer was elected as Prime Minister that the jail cells were really full, and the police were also told to stop arresting people unless they commit the most extreme crimes imaginable. And again, I made a video on that talking about arming yourself because the police are no longer coming to save you as well. Again, the fact that So many of these illegal immigrants in the UK are committing some of the most heinous crimes imaginable. We've just heard about a lawyer who was defending an illegal immigrant, got stabbed by the illegal immigrant, and also another illegal immigrant also burnt down a house with a mother and 3 of her children inside of it, which killed all of them as well. That just happened as of recording this video as well. And the fact that these types of people, it's very rare for them to get sent to prison, but with absolute beyond crowding, because again we keep allowing illegal immigrants in. Some of them do get in, but most of them don't. Then we've got all other types of criminals being put in there, and we're running out of space, and we're trying to shove in a massive wave of armchair thugs who haven't committed crimes. It was just free speech. Ha ha, I know. Free speech within communist UK, I know, ha ha ha. But it was free speech at the end of the day, and these people are getting sent to, 2, 3, 5 years plus in jail for having a view and opinion that is anti-establishment rhetoric. The person who owned the Twitter account, sick of it, he just got charged for that anti-government rhetoric, I think it was called as well. Or sorry, anti-establishment rhetoric, which, again, Stalin would be pretty proud of Keir Starmer right about now as well. How about we stop arresting people for the crime of literally having a different view and opinion, and also we stop putting everyone at risk of being sent to prison, and we stop releasing the most violent criminals and just keep them in there and pretty much let them do their full sentence in there, and also bring back the death penalty for the worst types of criminals. That would free up a lot of space, and plus a 9mm bullet's only 35 pence, I'm just saying. Anyway, I waffled on it a bit there, let's continue on. And again, this is the petition that we're on about. Sorry, I nearly said Stalin Starmer there, but fair enough. Stalin Starmer's petition, 200,000 plus signed. The petition demand change, Keir Starmer stepped down now, has crossed 200,000 to be precise, 202,401. This tweet is a few days old, just bear that in mind, that number is going to be a lot larger by now. As I said, I will post the daily until it is gone. Is it down here? I think he's individually tweeting, not responding, unfortunately, as well. So it's quite evident that the people of the UK are trying to get a petition going to get this guy out as Prime Minister, because nobody wants him, because he is the worst leader in British history and might even be one of the top 10 worst leaders of the whole of Europe ever, to say the very least as well. And I want to talk about this as well. This is a video of Keir Starmer getting jumped by someone, and he was stupid lucky and only got glitter bombed by this individual. And I think the second time this happens, it's going to be with a very sharp and pointy object, to say the very least. But anyway, let's play this video.
True democracy is citizen-led. Politics needs an update. We demand a people's house. We demand a people's house. We are in crisis! We are in crisis! Our whole future is in jeopardy!
So yeah, as you saw there, Keir Starmer had someone run up on stage and glitter bomb him and pretty much go against everything that he was saying, and got dragged off by 2 women, which is just an L in my honest opinion. But hey ho, that's just my views and opinions on something that's not really relevant to the video. But I think that I think the second time this is going to happen, I think it's going to be an assassination attempt. Again, I'm not advocating for it in any way, shape or form. I'm just giving my views and opinions on that. People are getting so beyond psychopathically angry with Keir Starmer and his communist mindset and his just communist kind of overall political enforcement up and down the UK, that people are starting to willingly do this. And I think the next time that this is happening, it's going to be with a sharp pointy object or something even worse than that as well. And I think he got pretty lucky that that was only a glitter bomb, and he just had to basically take his suit to the dry cleaners to get it fixed. But yeah, this is how angry people are getting, that they're willing to do this. And I know that man's probably going to get jail time for that, sadly. I think he should just get a stern warning, but hey ho, we're not living in sensible times in any way, shape or form. Again, if you look throughout history of the worst dictatorous people or the most authoritarian or whatever it may be down that path, like Keir Starmer, they don't usually die of natural causes, and I'll leave it at that as well, and I'll go back to this. So I want to talk about even more human rights violations towards men going forward, because it's obviously these absolute woke feminazis that are now also part in power within the UK government, obviously passed this terrorism act of misogyny. I am going to predict things because I'm really good at doing it, and when it comes to men's violation of their human rights within men and women conflicts, I think that men who are accused of things in a relationship that's not husband or wife are going to have the same treatment by the courts as they were husband and wife. For example, as I'm sure you are all aware, in a relationship, husband and wife, if they decide to get a divorce, sometimes the wife gets half of everything, half of his financial states, half of his net worth, his cars, his houses, his luxuries and everything else, so on and so forth, in the settlement. Sometimes that happens, sometimes that doesn't, but that only happens if it's husband and wife. However, I think there's going to be laws pushed through that if a woman feels like the man cheated on her, or if the man basically breaks up with this woman who is only a girlfriend, never a wife, can drag him to court and still take half of his stuff or have a financial settlement in court, which is really going to put off men having any form of a relationship with women, par a one-night stand. And even at that, there'll be laws saying that men have to fork up because women have done such an awesome thing for men, and so on and so forth as well. This will not be the final nail in the coffin. There will be more and more authoritarianism towards men, especially giving them practically zero human rights in regards to a relationship with a woman or interaction with a woman in any way, shape or form. Now, a lot of people will also be happy that if Keir Starmer does resign or has a vote of no confidence and he gets kicked out before, I really don't think anything's going to change. It'll just be another brain-dead black female, lesbian, trans woman of colour and confusion and mental illness and so on and so forth that'll probably take his place, and it'll probably even be worse than what Keir Starmer could ever dream of doing as well. Unfortunately, we've got 5 more years of commie Labour within up and down the UK, and unfortunately there's no way to deal with that until the next general election, until people vote back in Labour, because that's also inevitable as well. And I also want to make one more prediction before I wrap this video up. I've got a strong feeling that Sadiq Khan is going to run for Prime Minister of UK in 2029 in the next general election. Again, pattern recognition coupled with history always got to repeat itself. Think about this. Boris Johnson was Mayor of London, then he became Prime Minister of London. I think that's going to happen with... I keep forgetting this guy's name because I hate him so much. Sadiq Khan. He's been Mayor of London for 3 terms now, and I think he'll end up running as Prime Minister of the UK. And if that actually does become the case for sure, I would recommend everyone to jump in the water and try and swim to France or America or get a boat and try and get over there. Run for your lives. I think he'll be the worst leader in the whole of Europe's history, even worse than Hitler. I think he will do some of the most heinous crimes towards white people that we've ever seen, or towards anyone who goes against them. That would be the time I would say flee for your life at that point, and I do see that happening as well. But getting Keir Starmer out of power, yay. Will it be some other brain-dead, window-licking, chin-dribbling, wrist-slapping, spazzy person just taking his place from the Labour Party? Yes, nothing really changes, unfortunately, and we won't get to do anything until the next general election, and people will vote the Tories back in, the Conservatives, or just vote Labour again. Maybe we'll get Reform UK, but I'm not believing in that one in any way, shape or form. But we'll have to wait and see. But thank you very much for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated. If you could like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, that would be awesome. But the explosive growth on my YouTube channel has been absolutely awesome. I've just been entitled to ad revenue and subscriptions and super likes and everything else. So again, thank you very much. I'm sorting that out in the background. Sorry to hear there's ads coming. I know you're not going to be a fan of that, but I would like this to be a full-time job. But anyway, if you want to leave a comment down below, if you agree or disagree with anything that I've said, or you think I've missed anything of key importance, let me know down in the comments as well. Also, in the pinned top comment, there'll be links to my Discord channel you can join. I'll be in there in the first hour after this video gets uploaded, and you can come and hang out, talk to me, and we can discuss some things, whether it's on topic or off topic as well. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it is rant-A-holic right here as well, linked within the pinned top comment as well. But yeah, I love yous all, and as always, keep on rolling. Have a great day and a better week to follow. See yous!